afternoon, folks. From the last time, I can go ahead and do my, I guess I can go ahead and do my name and all that just to make sure you can get a good level from that. I am Mark McKinnon, M-A-R-K, M-C, capital K-I-N-N-O-N. I'm the Public Affairs Officer for Georgia Department of Natural Resources Law Enforcement Division. I will be looking in this direction so everybody's got the same kind of thing going on, all right? So I'm not wandering around. All right, so I'll tell you what transpired since we talked a little earlier. At approximately 3:38 this afternoon, which was very shortly after I believe I spoke to you before, but about 3:38 this afternoon, DNR game wardens located something on the sonar that they wanted to have checked out, and so they made a couple of passes with the sonar to be sure that it was something that they wanted the divers to look at. They sent the ROV, which is the remote operated vessel, down to confirm, and then the Cherokee County dive team was able to make a recovery a short time later of the victim. And so we are glad that we could get this done in less than 24 hours. Sometimes these things do drag on for longer than that, and so I'm grateful that we can bring this family closure. It's a very, very tough spot to be in if you've not been there, a very tough spot to be in when you've got someone missing and you can't find them. And so we try to find them as quickly as possible. I'm so glad for the team that we had out there with Cherokee County Fire, Sheriff's Office, DNR game wardens, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. It was a total team effort, and I'm grateful for the hard work they did under very, very hot conditions today. He was located, Mr. Croft was located in 22 feet of water. He was a few hundred feet from where the boat was found circling. And like I said, he was located with side scan sonar and recovered very quickly.
Mark, do we have any idea at this point, still really early in this investigation, what went wrong, how did he wind up in the water?
We won't know what happened as far as the incident goes for quite some time. You know, we have to examine the boat, have to look at all the factors. There's some GPS data that they'll be going over. I'm sure that maybe they could pull from that boat. But it's just a time-consuming process, and we'll continue to work on that and just see if we can find out what happened here. But really and truly, it's just a very tragic incident, and we're really you know, thinking about the family and the issue that they're having to go through right now, and hopefully we can give them some support and also some space and some privacy in the days ahead.
What's he wearing a vest?
My understanding is he was not wearing a life jacket, and I will tell you this, that it is very rare for a game warden to find a drowning victim with a life jacket on. So that's why it is so important to wear life jackets when you're out there on the water. You never know when something might happen. It could be a mechanical failure with a boat. It could be a number of things. You could have a health emergency, any of those things. But if you've got a life jacket on, you know something's going to keep you at the surface. And so it's so important for people to wear life jackets. You know, also give out a float plan, and just you've got to be extra vigilant and extra safe when you're out on the water, and that's what we want people to learn from this going forward. But we are grateful that we could bring this to a quick closure.
And was there any damage on the boat to suggest that it had hit anything?
They have not gone over the boat yet, so we really don't have any information as to whether anything was hit or not, or whether there was some mechanical failure with the boat, or what may have happened. But they have not gone over the boat yet to know that.
When you talk about the conditions in the lake and like any hazards where he was found, are there trees underwater? Like what is it like out there?
The lake conditions there is a very unusual part of the lake because there are a variety of different bottoms out there. There's a very sandy bottom in part of it. There was standing timber in another part of the search area, and then there was also an area that had some debris in it, just some logs and things. And so it was very unusual. It also varied quite a bit in depth. It went everywhere from at one point 55 feet, I believe, all the way down to about 7 or 8 feet in some locations. So a very unusual bottom to have to search, and that really kind of affects how the sonar runs and how it operates. And so I think they did a good job of reading that, and when they were able to see him on the bottom.
Mark, it seems like Lake Allatoona's averaged about 3 drownings a year. I don't know if that sounds high to you or if that's about average for lakes of this size, but is there anything that you can take away about the average that you're seeing, or maybe the challenges that this lake specifically poses?
Well, it's really difficult to compare year to year for particular lakes. Simply because there are so many factors involved in what may cause people to drown or to have a boat accident. One of those things that really very, very much affects those numbers is weather. If you have a summer where you have a lot of weekends where there is rain or bad weather weekends, you're going to have much fewer people on the lakes, and you're going to have a much lower numbers because we really attribute those numbers to volume. The more people that are on the lake, the more chance there's going to be for there to be a drowning or a boat incident out there. And so it's so hard to compare. I would say, average of 3 on Allatoona, I would say it's probably been that way for quite some time, but it's just hard to compare year to year.
What kind of boat was this?
This was a bass boat. It was with an outboard motor, not a very large bass boat. I would say maybe 16 feet, and he was probably out going fishing.
Anything about this young man that people would want to know about him to be able to?
I don't know him, but I can just say that from the large outpouring of support and the number of family members that have come out to support this family, I would say he was probably a very well-loved young man, and I'm sure he will be greatly missed, and that's why our hearts do go out to this family. It's a tough thing, and as I've said earlier, it's tough, very tough on the family, and it's also tough on these responders. They go out there, they do this work because they chose to serve, and they want to help other people, but they go home to their families, and this comes back to them, and they think about their families and how this family is tonight. And so, I ask you just to say a prayer for these folks and just give them some space and some privacy, if you would, and just understand what they're going through. But with the large outpouring of support that I've seen here, I would say that he was a very loved young man. Okay, all good?